Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome here to Christ Church Cathedral, or for those of you who are joining us on live stream, that's wonderful as well. My name is Chris. I'm the rector of the cathedral and the dean of the diocese, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here as we celebrate the blessing of the marriage of Felix and Irene. Before we get started, there's just a few housekeeping issues. So everyone should have gotten a chocolate bar. If you have not received a chocolate bar yet, you can take one on your way out. Everything you need for this service is printed in the bulletin, or otherwise called the order of service. Any text that is bold is something that we're going to say together as a congregation. For the rest of it, we can listen and follow the text as printed. If you're here in the building, there are bathrooms accessible. There's two downstairs, out the back and down the stairs. There's also an accessible all-gender washroom on this floor that you can go up to the ramp over there and to the right. Any children who are here are very welcome. We have coloring sheets available at the reception table, and then a small play area up here in the front for the children. We understand that they may need to get up and stretch their legs from time to time, and that's fine. There's also space for nursing downstairs if you need that space. Again, down the back stairs, and it'll be the first room on your right as you head into the corridor. There are two outstanding photographers here with us today, and they will be taking many beautiful pictures for Irene and Felix. Therefore, we're asking that everyone else please refrain. So do not take pictures and do not take videos, and please silence your phones. The worst thing is to have somebody's phone go off, and in fact, feel free to actually turn them off completely so you can be totally present during the service. Directly after the service, you're invited to stay with photos with Felix and Irene, and what we'll do is Felix, Irene, and the immediate family will process out, and the rest of you are invited to stay in your seats, and then you'll be called by groups to come out and take pictures together. So I thank you very much, and we're about to start in about a minute or two. Thanks very much. I invite you to stand as you are able, as Felix and Irene come in with some wonderful harp music. In this time and place, with respect and gratitude, we gather on the unceded and ancestral lands of the Musqueam, the people of the river grass, the Squamish, the people of the wind, and the Tsleil-Waututh, the people of the inlet. I invite the congregation to sit, please, at this point. Felix and Irene, you have been married according to civil law and have spoken vows pledging loyalty and love. Now, in the presence of God and of this congregation, you come to reaffirm those vows and to seek God's blessing. Marriage enables two separate people to share their desires, longings, dreams, and memories, and to help each other through their uncertainties. It provides the encouragement to risk more and thus to gain more. In marriage, partners belong together, providing mutual support and a stability in which their family may grow. Felix and Irene, we rejoice with you today. We are glad to join with you in the celebration of your marriage, to witness to your vows, to pray with you, and to wish you joy in your life together. We also take a moment now to remember family and friends who cannot be here in person today, and we hold in our hearts loved ones no longer with us, especially Felix's mother, Barbara, and Irene's grandmother, Guaying. invite you to stand as we pray, please. Creator, touch us with an awareness of your presence in all the world around us. Awaken in us a sense of wonder that you have created us in love. As we celebrate the marriage of Felix and Irene, deepen our love for those close to us and for those who, although strangers, need our concern. Help Felix and Irene as they affirm their commitments to each other and grant us all a heightened sense of joy in life because we share this moment with them. I invite you to be seated for our reading.
Our first reading is from The Elementary Forms of Religious Life by Emil Durkheim. We have seen how naturists and animists claimed to construct the notion of sacred beings from the sensations aroused in us by various physical or biological phenomena, and we have shown the impossible and even contradictory aspects of this enterprise. Nothing comes from nothing. The feelings the physical world evokes in us cannot, by definition, contain anything that transcends this world. From the tangible, we can only make the tangible. We cannot make something unlimited from something limited. And in order to explain how the notion of the sacred could emerge under these conditions, most theorists were forced to assume that man superimposed an unreal world on the reality he observed. This world was said to be constructed entirely of fantastic dream images or monstrous aberrations which the mythological imagination invented under the marvelous but deceptive influence of language. But if so, it's impossible to understand why humanity should persist for centuries in the errors that experience must have quickly exposed. In fact, the worshipper is not deluding himself when he believes in the existence of a higher moral power from which he derives his best self. That power exists, and it is society. Religion takes on a meaning and logic that the most intransigent rationalist cannot fail to recognize. The main purpose of religion is not to provide a representation of the natural world. Religion is above all a system of notions by which individuals imagine the society to which they belong and their obscure yet intimate relations with that society. This is its primordial role. And although this representation is metaphorical and symbolic, it is not inaccurate. Quite the contrary, it fully expresses the most essential aspect of the relations between the individual and society. For it is an eternal truth that something exists outside us that is greater than we are and with which we commune. That is why we can be sure that acts of worship, whatever they might be, are not futile